Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to NHL Draft Pros.
Shoots, he scores!
On today's video, we're going to go over some scouting notes for Braeden Cootes of the Seattle Thunderbirds. And if you're into hockey content, hit that subscribe and like button. We are approaching 14,000 subscribers, so I'd appreciate the help in getting there. Thanks. And if you want to see some scouting reports on some of these prospects, head over to NHL Draft Pros on YouTube or hit the icon below this video, and that will bring you to our homepage. All right, Braeden Cootes played for the Seattle Thunderbirds, and he had 63 points in 60 games, and he's a 6-foot, 186-pound centerman. Now, the numbers don't really pop off the page, but Seattle wasn't a great team overall, and he did lead them in points. But at the U18s, he displayed the offensive potential by leading the Canadian squad with 12 points in 7 games. And if you look at these clips, like look at this move right here. Like this is some nice, this one shows the skating and the skill set to get to that free puck and then buried upstairs like that. That's a nice goal right there. So you do see that offensive punch every once in a while in Braeden Cootes. And look at this one right here. I love how he's a hard worker. He's always got really good pace during the games, and he's got a nice motor. You know what I'm saying? And so here I just wanted to show his skate. He's a really good skater, actually. You know, he doesn't have that like elite speed, but really good overall. And then here you're going to see the same thing, some shot action right here. Watch this shot right now, and it's going to boom. Love it. So, yeah, you know what? If you put him near the net, he's going to find an opening, and he's going to absolutely bury it. Check out that goal right there. Fantastic. Right over the shoulder of the goalie there. Beautiful. You're going to see from the top angle here, the goalie's like, what just happened? Yep, it's in the net. And then here we're going to see some stick handling abilities right here. Like look at the speed, nice speed up the middle here. Watch this, just right through, and then oh, come on. These are some nice highlights. You know, I got him in the top 20 in the rankings, in my rankings. Actually, I just did a mock, and he was higher than that. I really like Braeden Cootes a lot, so I got him a little bit higher maybe than some other online rankings and mocks. But yeah, he's got some potential. I think that, you know, there is some offensive attributes that are really nice, and I think that he could potentially pop off if given the right circumstances. So yeah. Now the other thing with Braeden Cootes is that he's very responsible defensively and is always aware of where he needs to be to help his team out, basically, right? So you love to see that in a young player who is a responsible 200-foot player, and that's what Braeden Cootes is. Now, he's not big on the physicality component, but he's not afraid of contact, and he will go in those dirty areas along the boards in front of the net and all that fun stuff. And here we'll see another shot there, one-timer, boom, it's in the net. But yeah, and the other thing is that he will support his defensemen down low and along the wall. So that's another thing. You like that, you know, those players that will come back and support defensively, and he does that really well too. And he was a captain of Seattle, so that goes to show, you know, his leadership qualities. And he was also the captain on Team Canada U18 team. So that's, you know, one of those things, you know, personality and that you like to see in a young player. And look at that little lucky deflection there, but nice goal nevertheless. So yeah, you know what? He's great on the forecheck, strong forecheck for sure. What's his offensive upside? That's the question, right? Is he plateauing at, you know, point per game pace at the WHL level, which kind of translates not too well in the NHL level? And he's 6 feet, so he's not really, you know, a big player, but he is strong on the puck. Oh, we'll talk about that later. He could bulk up a little bit, get a little bit stronger, I think, to help him along the wall and in front of the net and whatnot, but that will come. He's just a young player. So, yeah, look at this play right here, the stick handling, and then the awareness of making that nice pass, right? So the next couple of clips I'm going to show, or this clip right here, his work ethic. Watch this. He just hunts down the puck. Watch. So right now, gets a shot on net, and then you're going to see him hunt down the puck. So right here, just doesn't stop. Look at this. Look at this. Pressure, and he finally gets the puck back. Nice little pass in front there for a scoring chance, and then drops it to the D again for puck possession. You like to see that in a player. And then I'm going to show one here off of the face-off. So this is him. I think he was 55% off the face-off dot. So that's pretty impressive. And then they score because of that. Look at that. So a nice draw there. Wins the draw. And then they end up getting rewarded with a nice goal right there. So yeah, like Braeden Cootes, he's one of my favorite players in this draft. And yeah, I think he's going to go top 20 for sure, top 15 maybe even. So here are his strengths. Like I said, the forechecking, that strong forechecking. He's always moving like down below the third point there. Motor, his pace, his two-way play, things that you really like to see in a young player. You see he's got the captaincy right there on his chest. Another thing that I like about young players. And then what he needs to work on, his offensive upside. What, does he have the tools to be a big point producer? But, at the end of the day, I think that he'd be a great middle six kind of player. So that's, second line, third line for sure. That's important. And then strength, he's got to work a little bit stronger. He's got to get a little bit tougher, I guess you could say, bulk up a little bit more. And then using support. Sometimes he tries to do a little too much on his own. So, that kind of leads to turnovers. And like I just mentioned earlier, I think he's a middle six type player in the NHL, which is awesome. You love to see that in a young player, that he has that potential. And yeah, that's it for Braeden Cootes, one of my favorite players in this draft. And like I said, if you can you please hit that subscribe and like button to help the channel grow? I'd really appreciate it. And we'll see you soon. Cheers.